Hey, Twanna Carter here, your anxiety and career coach. Just want to drop in today to put a little knowledge out there. Going to talk about change. Now, some people are a little different. They hear change and little bells go off. They get all excited. It's like, okay, what's next? What's coming? What's coming? Some of us hear change. What kind of change you talking about? What's it going to cost me? How different is my life going to be? How much trouble is this going to cause me? You know what? I'm really cool where I am. Why do I need to change? Okay. If you're that second person, let's talk about that for a minute. Because oftentimes anxiety makes you resistant to change. It is that fear of the unknown. It's like I'm comfortable here, so why would I do anything else to, disturb where I'm comfortable at? The problem with being comfortable where you are is no change, no growth. Nothing changes until you change. And if if you're okay where you are, but you want to be better, you want to excel, nothing changes until you change. That's the bottom line. And I understand that those of us that struggle with anxiety, that change thing can make you feel a certain kind of way. But here's the thing. You don't have to go like hog wild and make all your change at the same time. Take little steps, chunk it down into little steps. You know what? At the time when I could actually run 10 miles, there was no way I could just go out and run 10 miles. You got to chunk that thing down. Start with maybe walking a mile and then running the second mile and then walking another mile and then running 2 miles. In other words, do that change, make it deliberate, and do it in small chunks until you get to where you want to go. That's the big thing, because if you do it little small chunks at a time, then that brain that triggers that anxiety is like, oh my God, danger, danger, change, change, change. It doesn't get triggered, and you can still make progress and move forward. And I can tell you this from experience, my journey with anxiety, I have social anxiety. This particular type of anxiety is a little different in that I get nervous around people that I don't know, and sometimes I just go silent. It's like my throat freezes and I can't talk at all. I tend to avoid big places, crowds and everything. I would avoid those places. And in meetings, I wouldn't speak up. I had good ideas, and I know I had good ideas because inevitably someone over across the room would come up with the same idea that I was thinking. I was like, no, that's my idea. That was my idea. I was too afraid to speak up in meetings. And then self-promotion, I wasn't going to tell anybody what a great person I was and what a hard worker I was. And if you can't do those things, it's going to be difficult to excel in the workplace. It's going to be difficult to even speak up in your life. If you're in a relationship when people like screw you over and mess you over, it's very difficult to speak up and say, hey, I don't like that. I don't appreciate that. And so that's where I was in my journey. And I didn't know. I just knew something was wrong with me. I didn't realize it was social anxiety. And then when I understood that what I had was social anxiety, I started with small steps. I didn't make gargantuan change because, again, when you make too much change at one time, that brain back there gets you all excited, and it gets you, well, not excited, it gets you all anxious, and then you're full of fear and you're full of doubt. So, yeah, I was able to make small changes at first. There was a time when you weren't going to see me at concerts. I didn't like too many people, and I couldn't control that environment. And I can say that small chunks at a time, it started off by taking my kids to Six Flags, amusement parks. Small steps that I was able to build so that I wasn't so fearful around huge crowds. Now, some of you, crowds are your thing and you're fine with it, but maybe it's being in that meeting and being afraid to present. Someone says, do a presentation, and you're like, oh my God, my world is coming to the end. I got to stand in front of people and talk. Are you serious? Oh no. Well, I'm here to tell you, small chunks at a time, and you can build up that change to do that presentation and to be able to speak. Because a lot of people don't know. You don't know me. Many decades ago, I wouldn't be standing here doing this. There was no way I could stand in front of people and speak and speak intelligently anyway. I mean, I can do it. My words were all garbled, and I just, I had speech therapy as a child, so I couldn't pronounce some of my consonants and my blends. And when I got nervous, as an adult, I couldn't pronounce them either. So the thing is that I learned to roll with the change, very small chunks at a time, until I built up to what I wanted to. And so my biggest thing today, where I took a deep breath and I controlled it, I actually went scuba diving. And so that was the first time. You're like, is that a big thing for you? It's a huge thing for me. I have that claustrophobic thing in dark places, in tight dark places. And it's like, oh, I'm going to drown. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. But again, it was the small changes, because I've been snorkeling before and I kind of got the snorkeling thing. I was okay with that. But I made up my mind that after those small changes, I was going to do this big thing. I was going to do the stretch. And this really stretched me. But I can't say I dived to about 15 to 20 feet, fell completely in love, have no idea why I waited so long to learn to dive. But those are the things that you can do when you learn to change, because if you don't change, nothing changes. And the change starts with you. And I know sometimes we like to see, well, if she would do this and he would do that and they would do this and they. At the end of the day, your life doesn't change to the better until you make changes. And you can do it in small increments first and then keep going from there. Now, if that change thing still makes you feel some kind of way, I'll have a calendar link under here. Schedule a free session with me and let's talk about it. Because if you're not able to change or you have difficulty changing, you may be stuck in a job and you've known for quite some time you needed to go. It was time. It was probably time years ago, but you're afraid to make that change. Let's hop on a call together and look at a plan that supports you and moves you forward with the type of change that you need to make at your own pace to get ahead. So again, I'm Twanna Carter, your anxiety and career coach. Thanks for watching, and that's my truth for today. Take care.